Thank you. Welcome back to Blue Exorcist Anime Review Episode 26. We are here talking about the final episode of Season 3 of the show. Yes, and it is called, if I can get to it here, it is called Hidden True Feelings. This adapts from the last two pages of Chapter 66 and goes through the entirety of 67 and 68. Yes. So, we're here at last, the final episode. And this episode was partially adapting the Exorcist exam arc. Yes, with this particular episode, they are starting this particular arc, but it's like they started here, but they're not going further than this. If you're really curious, this arc that they're adapting, which is the Exorcist exam, it is roughly about 9 chapters. With this episode, they're roughly 4 chapters in to this arc. Yeah, though I would not be surprised if, in fact, that though it wasn't really a full adaptation, like the opening chapter for this arc, they skipped the first 6 pages. Not sure why, but they did. I thought this was kind of weird, the fact they did this, but they did. I don't honestly know why. They just did. But yeah, they have adapted fully 3 full chapters. So when the season resumes in October, that is probably when we're going to see the rest of this arc. And if you're curious though, I'll talk about the episode in just a minute here. But the very next arc of the series, which is Amor Hikogo, which focuses on Shira, she's in the episode. That is only like 7 chapters. You're like, okay, so that could be potential for season 4. And they might go into the Blue Knight investigation arc. Blue Knight investigation, which comes 2 arcs after this one, that is 19 chapters. Blue Knight Remembrance is only 21 chapters. The current arc is Of One Cloth. That's been going on since chapter 121, and the most recent chapter was 150. This arc has been going on for 30 freaking chapters. 30 chapters. Yeah, and I did review the first chapter, the most recent chapter of this arc just recently. Now, you might be curious though. Am I planning on reviewing, well, am I planning on still reviewing the manga? Like, until the manga is over with, I will continue to review the manga. That's pretty much the gist of it. So, in the case of this episode, like in the case of One Piece, we pick up exactly where we left off last episode, where Shuma is talking to Yuriko about, oh, you met Lucifer, didn't you, the leader of Illuminati? And we get flashback to him actually meeting him in that room. We wonder, like, how the heck get out of that room? So he used some blue flame to get out of the room. Lucifer talked to him. It's like he could be saved, and then he just leaves. Okay, interesting. It's a very brief scene, and it's like, I got a message from him. If you want to, you can see him anytime you want to. He'll be waiting for you. And that's pretty much it for that. And then, of course, basically, where we see various stuff going here, Shima slowly get back to trust people. We even talk about one of his, I would say his handler who's doing this. They say he's, like, I don't know if this handler works for the Illuminati or works for True Blue Cross. I'm not sure who. It could be either. And of course, you have Ren just yelling at Mephisto outside. I highly hope Mephisto can hear this. Hear that. And he does put at the end of the episode. We'll get to it. And they change his freaking dialogue from the manga. We'll get to that. So, he talks to Bond while we're running and doing a morning jog. Runs him and just sort of gains strength that leads into his handler. We get a flashback of Miwawa later on in the episode where he gains his trust. And then we see Shira, where she is about to leave the hospital. Yuriko gives her a special pass full of tickets for going to this special pool. Which, this actually changed the manga, because in the manga, they went to a hot spring. And, of course, now, there's a flashback in here, show that, where Izumo was telling Shimane that she didn't want to see another one naked. Here, it's like, no problem. Because they go to swimsuits, not to being butt naked. My only guess is the reason why they changed this to a pool over a hot spring, because Shira shows some nudity. We actually see one of her nipples. That's probably the reason why that the studio probably realized, though, yeah, probably not a good idea to show these kids butt naked. So it said swimsuit episode. People love swimsuit episode. Of course, they have a pool by themselves, and of course, Izumo just relaxing by the pool, not getting in. Shima wearing this weird bikini where it's like also partial like a shirt that covers her belly. I'm like, don't know why. And so everything's swimming. And of course, you have Ren going down the slide, which he did do in the manga. This actually was kept here, except that in the manga he was butt naked. In the anime, he's wearing a swimsuit. And then of course we also have these three demons show up, like see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That type of thing, like the three monkeys. And they all possess, and of course, reveal the secrets. Ren, of course, obviously wants Shima and rather Ruckus. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of boards fall. Like, it looks like a ladder or something just falls, like near the girls. And then, of course, we have Shira taking out her sword. By the way, the two girls will hang on to her. Takes her to beat people up. Now, in the manga, here's what happened. Somehow, you see, Shima basically still being a pervert, wanted to see he wanted to peep at the girls. Ren did a sensible thing. He only wants to see one of the girls, naked, all three of them. And the wall breaks, and then apparently all the guys see them naked, and presumably she may have beat them up for it. And then we see this next part was cut for some reason, because then we see just Yuriko just sitting by himself, and here's this thing called the Southern Cross, this special ice cream they ate when they were kids, which in the manga they actually show where he got this thing from a cooler. Yes, I'm not sure why they cut this out for. What, they did not believe that a school can have a cooler? Like, a type of cooler you see at a convenience store, like this small, like a cooler where it's like, where you just pull the top open, you pull something out to buy it. And by the way, the damages, now unlike in the manga where it damaged a wall, here they just knocked down some boards. I'm like, yeah. So he's asked like, oh, you should tell somebody about your condition. Don't hide it. And that's kind of the episode in a nutshell. A good episode. Oh, by the way, the dialogue that was changed here is like to be continued. He apparently really wanted to see all the kids, but he wanted to see all these characters butt naked. He wanted the characters to see each other butt naked. Yes, he wanted to witness that. Yeah, I have no idea why he wanted to do this for, but he did. It is by far one of the most weirdest things related to him. And you can see why they changed his dialogue from the manga. And with that, that's the end of Season 2. That's Season 3. An absolute really good season, and thank you, God. Thank you, the studio who brought this series back. Can you believe, basically, when this series came back, that it had been 6 years since I actually watched this show? Yeah, 6 years. Yeah, this is something that's puzzled me for a long time. Why the heck did it take 7 years for the show to come back? Yes, that's a really good question. Like, here's the thing. They decided for Season 3 to switch studios. Because the first two seasons and the movie were done by A1 Pictures. Excuse me. This season was at the Fry Studio Vol. Yes. Do not know why they switched for. This is by far the third show I've watched where originally the show was done by A1 Pictures, But we passed a different studio. This also happened with Seven Deadly Sins, and this also happened with Ace Attorneys. This is the third show it did with. But Ace Attorney actually had a pretty good second season. Didn't really change very much. But in the case of Seven Deadly Sins, oh boy! With that one, the new studio got flack for it. Oh, and here's a little fun fact about this season. This is only by far the 5th show they ever worked on. Yeah, the last show they ever released was Black Arrow. A show that was released in 2021. And that was the first show they had released. Apparently this was like a robot show. Interesting. Yes. And they also worked on Karaki Circus, which I'm not familiar with the manga, with the series. But apparently this is one of those things where, they aired it while the manga was coming out. It's basically focused on, like, being a puppet, the puppet stuff. There's also Idol Instance, which is basically was like one series, though for some reason the manga of this was published just before the show came on the air. And another one of those cases where the anime ended just prior to the manga did. The first show they worked on, which were in Mappa, first 2 shows were in Mappa, it's Ashura and Tora. A dark fantasy series that was published back in the 90s. And then the series, the anime they published was in 2015, 2016. Which, who knows? They may have adapted the whole thing. I'm not sure. Yeah. Am I looking forward to when they do season 4 of the show? Yes. Which, as far as I can tell, it's slated for October. It's called The End. It's translated as The End of Snow. It's called Beyond the Snow Saga. So, who knows? Technically, the season adapted roughly about 31 chapters overall. And who knows how far they'll adapt for season 4. Yes. Oh, by the way, before I end this video, there's lots of references to the previous arc, the Impure King arc. They reference that arc a lot throughout this whole season. Apparently, it's like that one was like a turning point in the series. Yep. But not much else to say about this episode or the season. So, notable access. So basically, next week, that my anime for Saturdays has now been reduced down from 4 down to 3. Though in 2 weeks, my next anime I watch is going to be Martial Magic Muscles. 2 weeks from now, it'll be down from 3 down to 2. As far as I can tell currently, there's no scheduled shows to be released in July or excuse me, probably not for quite a while. I'm not, as far as I can tell, there is one show set to release in July, and that's Very Essential Quest, but a lot of the other shows are going to wait for the dub to come out. My guess is probably not until like midway through July, but that one probably dubbed by Crunchyroll because that one will be dubbed by Funimation. Yeah, I hope they get back dubcast that one. Okay, so that's pretty much it for particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. Next up, I'm actually doing a Comic Corner, and then it's on the Martial Magic and Muscles next. Okay, next video. Bye.